My dad damaged my house and called it weird. Now, he is claiming that my nephews are moving in with me. So a few days ago, my dad came over to my house for the first time in quite a while. I've had a lot of renovations done since he last saw the place when we first moved in. I have a nervous system condition which, while I'm very fortunate to manage it in such a way that it usually doesn't impact my life, most days out of any given month, can render certain simple tasks quite difficult for me when I'm having a flare. It's also important, as part of managing my condition and maintaining my high level of function, to limit certain activities that can bring about a crash or a flare. My husband is also disabled. He has hypermobile EDS, so together we made a list of things we'd love to have as accommodations in the home we share, and we either DIY'd those things or found contractors to do them for us. I'm really happy with the results. I find that these accommodating renovations make my life a lot easier. I have fewer crashes and overall more energy. My husband is elated with how much more functional he can be after we made these changes. My father isn't a fan. He thinks it all makes the house too weird. He's worried about the resale value. He had a lot of comments when he came over. In fact, it was almost all he talked about. I kept trying to gently tell him that this is just what works for us and then divert the subject, but he was getting a bit worked up, which isn't really like him in those types of situations. The plan for his visit was that he'd come over, meet my foster dog that he might adopt, take the dogs for a walk, and then get lunch. When I left him alone for a minute to use the bathroom after we'd walked the dogs, I came back out to find that he'd attempted to pull one of our accommodating mechanisms out of the kitchen wall. He hadn't caused any functional damage, but he did create aesthetic damage, as it will now need to be repainted. I was shocked and somewhat hysterical in my reaction, raising my voice at him when I saw what he was doing. I think I yelled, "What the fuck are you doing, Dad? What's your problem?" He responded, "I just wanted to see if it was removable. Sorry, it's just too weird. It's too weird. It's just not going to work when Billy and Bobby move in with you." Billy and Bobby are my nephews, my brother's kids. I have never invited them to stay with me, let alone move in for any amount of time, and I've never been asked to do so. Even in the event that my brother and sister-in-law passed away in some tragic manner, to my knowledge, I should be very far down a very long list of people who could be asked to take those kids in before I would be asked. So I was pretty shocked my dad would say something like that out of the blue about Billy and Bobby moving in, because there's no reason, to my knowledge, for anyone to think that would possibly be happening. I asked him to clarify repeatedly, but he just waved it off and told me to forget he said anything, and that he didn't want to talk about it. I pressed him, and all he said was, "Well, honey, it's a massive house. You have room for 2 boys." When I asked him why he would even bring it up though, and clarified that not only did I have absolutely no desire to host my nephews for a visit, let alone to move them in, he clammed up again and just said, "Forget I ever said anything." He apologized for damaging my home, immediately transferred a larger sum than necessary to me via Zelle to fix the scratch he'd made, and then took me out to lunch as we had planned prior. The rest of the day with him was pretty normal, and I guess I was just a little shocked or something because I didn't bring it up again. But now that it's been a few days, I can't get it out of my head, and I'm so annoyed. Update. I talked to my brother on the phone about the situation, and he expressed that he had absolutely no idea why our father would imply that Billy and Bobby would need to move in with me at any point. He seemed genuinely surprised and had no clue what the hell Dad was talking about. He claims to have absolutely never expressed anything like that to our dad. I believe him. I asked him if there was any possible reason at all that Dad would think that I'd need to take in my nephews. Like, is there some problem Dad thinks he is pre-solving without consulting either of us? Is there an illness or impending divorce or anything I don't know about? My brother assured me that there's nothing like that going on, and that, as I assumed, I, of course, wouldn't even be near the top of the list of permanent caregivers, even if something was going on, because he knows I run 2 businesses out of my house, and also just am not up for taking his kids in unless I am the absolute last safe resort. Both of us agree that Dad generally doesn't seem to have any other signs that we've noticed of declining cognitive function, like at all. But since this was such a strange outburst, we're still concerned that this is just the earliest sign. The issue that we're both aware of is that my dad, while a loving father and good man to many, is a bit of a liar and a lot of a manipulator. He has many signs of OCD and gets fixated on things, then tries to manipulate to get his way with his fixation. He means well, but he has been known to be full of shy and to have his own strange agendas that don't have much to do with anyone else's wants or needs. So unfortunately, my brother and I are going to have to confront him by essentially saying, "Dad, it's essential that you're honest about whether you are confused or intentionally lying and manipulating, because that's the difference between us freaking out about your health versus us just understanding that sometimes you lie to push your agenda, but your brain is fine."